जय 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 हे
भारत माता की जय। भारत माता की जय। भारत माता की जय।
And diaspora, friends of India, ladies, gentlemen, and children. Namaskar. It is my immense pleasure to welcome you to the Embassy of India in Copenhagen this morning to celebrate the momentous occasion of India's 75th Independence Day. This is an extraordinarily special occasion for India, its citizens, its diaspora, and well-wishers. This day has a special significance as it marks the beginning of the 75th year of India's independence, for which Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav is being celebrated. My hearty congratulations to all on this momentous occasion. Independence Day is a festival of freedom for us. This was made possible by generations of freedom fighters, some known, many unknown. They made great sacrifices. Today, you and I breathe under free skies thanks to their heroic deeds. I bow in respect to the pious memory of those brave martyrs. भारत की विशेषता ये थी कि गांधी जी के नेतृत्व में हमारे स्वाधीनता आंदोलन सत्य और अहिंसा के सिद्धांतों पर आधारित रहा। उन्होंने तथा अन्य सभी राष्ट्र नायकों ने भारत को औपनिवेशिक शासन से मुक्त करने का मार्ग दिखाया ही, साथ ही राष्ट्र के पुनर्निर्माण की रूपरेखा भी प्रस्तुत की। उन्होंने भारतीय जीवन मूल्यों और मानवीय गरिमा को पुनः स्थापित करने के लिए भी भरपूर प्रयास किए। Now, as we look back to the 75-year journey of our republic, we have reasons to be proud of the considerable distance we have traveled. Gandhiji taught us that slow and steady steps in the right direction are preferable to rapid strides in the wrong direction. The world looks up at the miracle of India, home to the plurality of traditions and yet the biggest and most vibrant democracy. प्यारे देशवासियों, हाल ही में संपन्न टोक्यो ओलंपिक्स में हमारे खिलाड़ियों ने अपने शानदार प्रदर्शन से देश का गौरव बढ़ाया है। भारत ने ओलंपिक्स खेलों में अपनी भागीदारी से 121 वर्षों में सबसे अधिक मेडल जीतने का इतिहास इस बार रचा है। Along with sports, epoch-making changes are taking place in the participation and success of women in all walks of life, from higher education institutions to armed forces, from laboratories to playgrounds. Our daughters are making their mark. In the success of our daughters, I see a glimpse of a developed India of the future. I urge every parent to learn from the families of such promising daughters and provide opportunities to their daughters also to explore avenues of growth. Like last year, this year too, the scale of Independence Day celebrations may have been reduced due to the pandemic, yet our hearts remain always filled with enthusiasm. The intensity of the pandemic has come down, but the coronavirus has not yet gone away. We are yet to come out of the devastating effects of its recurrence this year. Last year, with exceptional efforts from all, we had succeeded in bringing the spread of infections under control. Our scientists had succeeded in developing vaccines in a very short time. Therefore, at the beginning of this year, there was every reason to be hopeful as we launched the largest vaccination exercise in history. Yet, due to the new variants and other unexpected factors, we suffered from a terrible second wave. I speak for the whole nation when I say that I share the grief of all the affected families. Science is coping with this invisible enemy of terrible might and remarkable speed. We can take solace from the fact that more lives have been saved than lives lost. It was our collective determination to overcome the challenge that helped us to see the weakening of the second wave. Once again, our corona warriors, the doctors, nurses and health workers, the administrators and others risked everything to contain the impact of the second wave. कोविड की दूसरी लहर से हमारी सार्वजनिक स्वास्थ्य सेवाओं की बुनियादी ढांचे पर बहुत दबाव पड़ा। किसी भी देश का बुनियादी ढांचा इस विकराल संकट का सामना करने में समर्थ नहीं हुआ। हमने स्वास्थ्य व्यवस्थाओं को मजबूत बनाने के लिए युद्ध स्तर पर प्रयास किए। The leadership rose to the challenge, and the government's endeavours were supplemented by initiatives of the states, private sector, healthcare facilities, civil society, and others. In this extraordinary mission, foreign nations shared the essentials generously, just as India had reached out to many nations with medicine, equipment, and vaccines. I am grateful to the global fraternity that came forward with a helping hand. Due to these efforts, the nation breathes a sigh of relief with the return of a semblance of normalcy. If we have learned our lessons well, we know that this is time of extra care and caution. We shall not let our guard down. Vaccines are the best possible protection science offers to us. Under the world's largest vaccination campaign going on in our country, more than 50 crore fellow citizens have been vaccinated so far. I urge all eligible citizens who are yet to be vaccinated to do so at the earliest and inspire others. Dear fellow citizens, the economic impact of the pandemic is as disastrous as its health impact. The government has been concerned about the lower middle classes and the poor, as well as about the small and medium industries. It has been sensitive to the needs of the labourers and of employers who have been facing hardships due to the lockdowns and movement restrictions. Sensitive to their needs, the government has taken a series of relief measures. The government has distributed food grains to about 80 crore people in May and June. This benefit would be extended till Diwali. Moreover, the government has announced the new stimulus package worth rupees 6,28,000 crores to boost selected COVID-affected sectors. In particular, it is heartening to note that an amount of rupees 23,220 crores is being spent over 1 year for expansion of medical facilities. It is heartening to note that rural India, particularly the agricultural sector, has kept growing against all odds. The psychological distance between the urban and the rural is now less as compared to the past. After all, India lives in its villages, which cannot be allowed to lag behind in development. That is why special campaigns, including the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi, are being implemented for the welfare of our farmers. These efforts are consistent with the vision of an Atmanirbhar Bharat, a self-reliant India. With abiding faith in the inherent capacity of the economy, the government has further opened up defence, health, civil aviation, power and other sectors. The government's new initiatives to provide eco-friendly, renewable sources of energy, particularly solar power, have won praise around the world. If there is an improvement in the ease of doing business, it has a positive impact on the ease of living of all. In addition to these, special emphasis is being given to public welfare. For example, the dream of having a home of one's own is being realized thanks to the rupees 70,000 crore credit-linked subsidy scheme. The series of agricultural marketing reforms will empower our Annadata farmers and help them get better prices for their produce. These are some of the measures the government has taken to unleash the potential of every citizen. A new dawn is rising in Jammu and Kashmir. The government has initiated the process of consultation with all stakeholders who have faith in democracy and the rule of law. I urge the people, especially the youth of Jammu and Kashmir, to utilize this opportunity and work on realizing their aspirations through democratic institutions.
What can I tell you about India? There is so much that we as Indians are proud of. India is an old civilization, it's continuous history dating back 5,000 years. But it's a young country, 74 years old into its 75th year. We are bursting with the vigor of youth. We are the home to so much. We have been the cradle of human learning. The oldest universities were in India. India was where the number system, the decimal system, the art of navigation, and even so many initial research into science, astronomy, surgery, etc. originated. If we fast forward to the present, we are the second most populous country in the world, the seventh largest in terms of size, and we are the third largest economy in terms of purchasing power parity.
That requires really, as you say, leadership and responsibility towards this fragile earth. Do you see India as ready to take this responsibility, and how do you see this progressing?
That's a very good point. And I'd like to say absolutely. We do have a visionary leadership in the country under Prime Minister Modi, who has taken a whole lot of initiatives in virtually every field impacting the ordinary person in the street to what is good for the economy. And the fact is that we are the world's largest economy, and we have always, world's largest, democracy. And we have always taken on board what is good for the ordinary person in the street. Gandhiji used to say, Gandhiji is the father of the Indian nation, and he would always say that when you are thinking of a policy or something to do, see if it will benefit the poorest person that you know of.
How big is the Indian community here? Do you have some
Yes,
kind of...
we do.
knowledge
It's
about
over 15,000 people. So we have about, we have over 12,000 Indian nationals and about 2,500 to 3,000 persons of Indian origin who live here and who contribute to the Danish economy, and I believe are well integrated in Danish society.
So now we would like to ask you to say something to the Indian community in Denmark and also to the Danish people who live in Copenhagen.
And my warmest wishes to each one of you. I also mentioned earlier today, while I was addressing a gathering at the Indian Embassy, that we are celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, which basically means the Nectar of Independence Festival, if I were to make a rough translation into English. And there will be a whole lot of events in the course of the coming year to mark this historic landmark occasion, and I look forward to your enthusiastic participation in this. To our Danish friends, I would like to say you've been wonderful hosts. To people from India who have made this their home, your beautiful country, to people who visit, to people who come here to work. I've been very impressed with the Danish approach to life. They are so efficient at work, but they are also fully cognizant that life is meant to be lived. They're also very polite. I found them very well read and very pleasant to interact with. So thank you for everything that you have offered us, and I look forward to having an ever greater and more vibrant partnership between India and Denmark with the contribution of all of you. Thank you. Namaskar.